again, everyone. I have another video on some questions I've been asked about moving to Belize. So in this one, I'm going to cover medical and insurance. So I did a couple of videos already that helps with people moving here. So the first one, in case you didn't see it already, talks about setting up a bank account, paying bills, and bringing money in. Part 2 was about shipping, communication, and internet. And this one, like I said, I'm going to cover medical and insurance. And I have a lot of other videos too on traveling to Belize and other topics like traveling for free on my YouTube channel that you can watch. And if you have other questions, you can always book consulting time with me as well. So the first thing I wanted to detail was where I go for the doctor in San Pedro. So there is a medical clinic called the San Pedro Urgent Care. It's located in Grand Caribe, which is north of the bridge on Ambergris Key. My doctor there is Dr. Renee. She's from the US and I've had great service with her. The appointments that I've had were under $100, so nothing really expensive. I did have a general checkup earlier on because obviously I've been here almost a year, so I like to get annual checkups. I had another one where I had a little bit of an infection I needed a prescription for, and never too expensive and easy to get in for appointments as well. So very modern, clean building. Didn't feel like I was in a third world country by any means. It was very, very nice there and highly recommend to go there if you're here and you need any medical things done. And I am going to go through some of the services they offer in addition to just going to see a general practitioner. So here is some of the items from their website that they do at San Pedro Urgent Care. So they do have fully equipped emergency and observation units, so they can do minor surgical procedures. They can also stabilize people for urgent referral to the hospital in Belize City, which is obviously very important. And there is a lot of specialists that come on specific days, so if you need different kinds of services, you can obviously book that, and they'll let you know when they're coming, like dermatologists, etc. X-ray and ultrasound, they also do that there, so that's really great. So a lot of things that you need on a day-to-day basis for your medical can be provided on the island with no problem. Now, if there is something more major that you need, Belize City is only a 15-minute flight away, and there you would generally go to the municipal airport. You could take one of the flights like Tropic Air or Maya Air, but there's also helicopters depending on how urgent it is for you to get there in the situation. And once you're at the municipal airport in Belize City, it's less than 5 minutes to get to the hospital. And from everything I've heard from people, there's two great hospitals there in Belize City, Belize Medical Associates being one, and the other one being Belize Healthcare Partners. So those are available. And then a lot of people also do go to Merida, Mexico for larger issues. For example, if you need cancer treatment, that's a place you can go for that too. And then for prescriptions, one thing I like to tell people is that if you need something specific, you may want to ensure you can get it here. Otherwise, bring a supply before you come to Belize, and then you can figure out how to get it later on. So one of the larger pharmacies in town is Spies, and I put the phone number here, which you can reach out to through WhatsApp if you're kind of curious about something that you need to see if they have it here. And there's tons of different pharmacies, but my doctor actually recommended this one because a lot of times I'd go to some of the smaller ones around and they wouldn't have what she prescribed for me here. So that's some of the medical stuff. In addition, there's lots of other services that you can find anywhere else. For example, you can go for deep tissue massage, there's dentists, all those kind of things are also available on the island. So now I want to talk about insurance. So first I'll talk about home insurance and then I'll get into medical. And I did have a hard time finding home insurance here. First I went to a company that I saw in town, had to go in and leave a phone number, no one ever got back to me. Next, I saw a sign for one of the realtors that I know here that also does insurance, reached out to him, and it turns out he doesn't do wood homes. So that kind of was a bust, and I was kind of stuck for a bit. And then luckily, I went on to one of David Kafka's All Access Belize webinars, and he had Marcia Gill there, who was speaking about insurance, both health and property. So that worked out really well for me, and Marcia was great in terms of getting all my home insurance set up, and now I'm thinking about medical insurance as well. So I did put Marcia's email here in case you want to reach out to her for any of your medical questions or help, because that obviously is a good place to start. For health insurance, I've reached out to her on that, and basically, to get that, you have to be in the country for 6 months and generally own a property or something like that. So they know you have ties or utility bills, those kind of things. So they have a comprehensive health plan. Coverage ranges from $250,000 Belize to $1 million. You can pick different deductibles, 500, 1,000, or 2,000, and you can also get a dental or vision rider included. And obviously, if you want a proposal, Marsha can give you all the details on that. So to get that insurance, you have to be between 20 and 65 years old, and then the coverage extends to age 99. So the cost is generally about 150 Belize to 250, obviously depending on how old you are at the time you get it. There is also another product you can get called Global Insurance, and I have the website for a company that does that here, and I did do some quotes on myself to see what it would be like being a Canadian citizen living in Belize, and I'm going to show those on the next slide. I'm probably not going to go that route because the health insurance that I found through Marsha is a little bit more affordable, but I still want to show the option of global. And the reason that could be good is if you are an expat that's living in many different locations, or you're a nomad worker where you're moving around a lot, this could be a very good product for you. So in terms of global insurance, I did an example, which obviously these quotes are based on my age and me being a Canadian living in Belize. So I did pick 20% copay just so that I could be comparable to what I used for Marsha. And I used a 375 deductible, which is the lower one that they had. And the benefits I picked were silver. So they have different options, which just changes the amount of the overall benefits, and the price obviously is different then too. So the silver plan has an overall annual benefit of $1 million, cancer care is paid in full, mental and behavioral health is covered up to $5,000, and like I mentioned, these amounts change if you go into the gold plan and up. And if I want worldwide coverage, excluding the USA, I'd be paying $206.93 US. So you know Marsha's quotes were in Belize dollars, so you would divide that in half to get the US equivalent. So obviously this one's more expensive. And then if I do want coverage including in the USA, it's a lot more money. It's $424.92 US per month. So this is an option, especially for somebody who's going to travel a lot, maybe like a nomad worker that wants to move between many different countries, then these global plans could be very suitable for you. In my case, because I'm only going between Canada and Belize, obviously the Belize plan might be a lot better for me because I definitely can't use my Canadian benefits while I'm in Belize. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out my website for more resources, and if you subscribe, you'll continue to see more questions answered, and hope to see you soon in Belize.